everyone, welcome to April Monthly Club. I'm so excited to be celebrating some of our spring projects with you today and for you to have a chance to explore a couple of our retiring items before they disappear and also see a few things that are carrying over as well. So if you purchased a kit for tonight's class, you will have most of the pieces already assembled, or not assembled, but most of the pieces already cut for these projects. You'll just want to grab yourself a neutral ink and a sentiment stamp to finish off the projects. But as we go, you'll be able to see kind of what you might like to use for a certain project. But I hope you enjoy all three of them. Before we jump into the projects for tonight, I do just want to let you know this video is recorded because at this moment I am hosting a live event for the few people who are able to make it out in person this month. And so just so you guys know, for the foreseeable future, I'm going to be offering both in-person and online things just because I realize that it is not easy to come out at times and some of us aren't able to make it, some of us live far away. So just for you guys to kind of be assured you still have class opportunities with me. I won't be able to answer any comments you're putting right now because I won't see them, but I certainly will check the feed at the end of the night, and you're always welcome to message me if you have any questions at all about your project or about an order. These kits, if you'll remember, they are $15 or free with a $35 order. So if you're not part of the monthly club who consistently places orders and you decided to just pay 15 bucks, but you want some product instead at the end of the night, I will just add that 15 as a credit to your order. So let me know if you have any questions, but just a reminder that this is recorded for you. So before we dive in, I want to let you know you should each have received a copy of my new spring calendar in your kit. So I've redone kind of the April ones, which were on the old calendar, but I've also extended this now until July. So I do want to just go over this very, very quickly and briefly to give you some highlights and just for you to mark some dates off, maybe keep in mind certain stamp sets that we're using for things. So I'll go very quickly over the monthly club section. That is what you're at tonight. You can either come in person on the second Tuesday or second Wednesday of the month, or I can send you this online video tutorial, or I'm still offering mail out kits. So just keep in mind the mail out kits, they went out on Sunday, and so those may or may not arrive in time for Tuesday, but you'll certainly get them and you can watch this anytime you want. So my specialty class for this month, I've had some requests for me to teach you how to use some things like our watercolor pencils, blending brushes, and blends. However, this isn't a typical coloring class where you're just sitting here and kind of fine detailing intricate things. I'm going to show you the cards actually later on, and you'll see what looks like a lot of detail, but it's actually super quick and simple. So I have quite a few different fun techniques to show you on how you can really make one of your coloring skills look like you've spent hours, and in all reality, you've spent 2 minutes on it. So we're going to combine some embossing, some vellum, and some coloring skills to do that. You can choose to pay just the class fee if you'd like for $25. You do need to have the Blessings of Home stamp set to finish the class. So if you don't own it, I also have an option for you to place a $60 order and receive the class for free. I've also listed some other items that you probably want to make sure you have so that you can follow along. The biggest being the watercolor pencils and a blender pen. So the blender pens from Stampin' Up! Are sold in sets of 3. However, I'm giving you the option just to purchase one of them if you'd like. It just kind of cuts down on the cost for you. And one is really all you'll need because you can use both sides of them in the future and they kind of rinse off clean. But totally up to you. And then, of course, I did offer the option for you to get the set of dies as a 10% off discount, okay? So we will chat about that a little bit more when I'm showing you the projects, but sign up for this is open now on Lauren's Scrap Lot. There's a little link that you fill out. You tell me whether you're paying 25 bucks or 60. Let me know what you want because I would like to order your things so you have them to work with. and also if you're coming in person or if you would like this online. Okay, so continuing on, I do want to just quickly go through some of these because this one is also just posted. This is Surprise Prize Bingo. So even though it's technically in May, you're going to want to sign up in April because it's right away in May. So Tuesday, May 3rd is the day that our new annual catalog goes live and is the day that you can order from it. I'm going to have some really fun activities throughout the day for you to tune into. I also am going to have some free projects for those of you who have placed orders with me throughout the last year. So if you're one of those people, I have your name all written down and I'm going to message you saying, hey, I have a free set of cards for you. You'll have instructions to complete the cards throughout the day. If you want to play a little bit more, I'm going to also host a bingo night. So this night I am not offering in person simply because I haven't quite figured out how to operate like something at the same time with people at home and on the computer. And bingo is just one that it's kind of nice if we're all in one place. So thank you for bearing with me on that. We're just going to do it all via Zoom. And if you sign up, as soon as I receive your sign up for the mail out people, I am going to throw your bingo cards in the mail. There will be make and takes, but because I need time to get my pre-order in and actually design them and send them out, those may or may not arrive in time for the class, but I want to make sure that your bingo cards do. So this is the class that I'm guaranteeing if you sign up by the 21st of April, I will have bingo cards in the mail for you at least 2 weeks in advance so that you have them in hand to participate. The make and takes, you'll be able to follow along on a video if they happen to not arrive, but I really do want to make sure you can participate. Oh, I even said the 19th here. So 19th. But let's get you guys registered for that. And I would love to see as many people as possible because the more people, the better the prizes. And they are all guaranteed from this catalog. So your registration includes prizes from 10 rounds of bingo. You get a guaranteed gift from me, something from here, and you get make and take projects. So it's a really fun event and it's a really fun way for you to celebrate the new catalog launch with me. Tuesday and Wednesday monthly club, not going to go into that, but my May specialty class, make sure to look that up. Another really, I guess, common request I have is masculine cards. So we definitely will do some of those at Card Club, but we're going to do a whole class dedicated to them as my specialty class. There's some really great new masculine sets in the catalog, so I'm going to play with those and just read through your little calendar. If you have questions, let me know. For June, monthly card club, same deal, but this is the highlight I need to chat with you about. So the all-day spring crafting retreat. So this is an annual event that I host twice a year, once in June when the new annual catalog comes out and once in October with the holiday catalog. So these events are amazing. I really hope you think they are because I start planning them for them basically by the time my pre-order comes. I've actually even started thinking about it because I've told you the names of the 2 stamps we're going to play with. Those will mean nothing to you until you have a catalog in your hand. And unfortunately, I don't have my pre-order yet, so I can't even show you the 2 bundles. But when I do my pre-order unboxing, I will highlight that and just say, hey, if you're coming to this event, these are the 2 bundles we're playing with. If you are not familiar with the event, basically I give you 2 options of a stamp set that you get to receive for free with your registration, but you will make projects using both of the bundles throughout the day. We just share amongst ourselves because guaranteed half of you order one and half of you order the other. So it all works out. It just gives you a really nice opportunity. If something's not quite striking your fancy, you have a second choice. You can also opt to add on dies at additional discounts. I have lots of ordering specials, which include like free shipping, free product, draw prizes, all of that. There's tons of make and takes. This is an all-day event. So barring restrictions changing, I do foresee us being able to do this in person. I have talked with the church that we usually use, and they are they haven't committed, but they're sounding very positive. And she said, I can't say yes until June officially, but we, as long as things don't change, we should be able to meet there. So it will be in person in Edmonton. If you're somewhere else and you'd like to participate, you won't be able to participate in like the whole day of fun. Unlike, my Zoom ones. But what I will do for you is I will record all the projects in nice video segments for you. And there will be a time where you can tune in and via Facebook Live to just participate in the draw prizes. So we'll iron out all those details once I actually see if anybody signs up who's out of the city. But if you could make it into Edmonton, it's a really fun time. We meet in a gym, so I can certainly spread everybody out really nicely. I'll have more details, but I just want you to mark off the date and think about this early bird cost. If you register before June 1st, you save $15 in your registration. And I might even have a bonus gift if you sign up even before May 1st, just because that's, really great. So I might have something really fun for those of you who tell me like right now or even next month, yes, I'm coming. So that's June. And then last thing on the calendar is July. Just keep in mind, and I'll remind you, I'm rescheduling to the third Tuesday and Wednesday of the month just for July because Nathan and I have a trip booked. But, things might change. So please keep in mind that this calendar has been made months in advance and changes may happen. So I will post events at the beginning of each month on Facebook for you to sign up for. And if there's any changes made to like the logistics, I will highlight it there. Okay, hopefully we're good. If you have any questions, let me know. Have a read through this and mark those on your calendars. You saw the front cover of this beautiful annual catalog. Unfortunately, I'm not allowed to show you inside until May 3rd. That being said, I have already ordered all of the catalogs for everyone who has placed an order with me in the last year. And so I will be getting catalogs as soon as they arrive, ready for those of you who can pick them up. You can have them in your hands probably as early as Easter weekend because they should come in soon. And if you're mailing out, I'll get them organized and get them to you by the end of the month as well. Okay, so that's exciting. I should get my stuff soon, so I'll do an unboxing video. But enough chattering away. Let's get crafting, okay? So I've got my nice little work mat. So the first card I would like to show you is one that's going to use this Grassy Grove bundle. And this bundle is actually carrying over into the next annual catalog, which is very exciting to me because I did not have a chance to use it enough. And you can see from the front of this card, the only thing I had a chance to use was one little sentiment. I still need to play with all of these things. So we're going to use some of those later on at a different class or maybe one of my show me how it's done videos. But what I've used from this is this gorgeous one-piece tree canopy set, as well as a couple of the little deer. There's also like a really nice line that kind of cuts your grassy knoll out. You can cut some leaves. It's a really versatile set. So make sure to check it out both in your old Spring Mini and the new annual catalog. This guy is what I wanted to highlight for you. So I'm just going to move this out of our way. And yes, so I have made this card both using a Misty Moonlight base, which keep in mind, they are disappearing. Like refills for half of those colors are gone. Paper's drastically going. So if you want any of the 5 retiring colors, Misty Moonlight, Bumblebee, Cinnamon Cider, Just Jade, and Magenta Madness, any of those, let me know right away because I want to get them to you. So I made you one in Misty Moonlight because I love it. And it uses the New Horizons DSP, but I also made one using the Evening Evergreen because it is not a retiring color and you'll be able to complement your paper either way. So you can see these two backgrounds are very different. Here's a few other options for you from the New Horizons if you kind of want like a starry night. The blue on the back is cute too. This was similar to one of the designs I've used, or you could have a nice sunset. So these are all papers from the New Horizons Designer Series pack. We have not heard yet whether those are retiring or showing up at some other point, because that spring catalog goes until June. So I won't find out yet, and that's okay. But this guy is really easy for you to assemble. So in your little envelope, let's get working. I'm just going to move that guy out of the way. You can keep that in your line of vision. Okay, so in your little envelope, you will have either the pieces for a blue colored card or a green. But we're assembling the same way, doesn't matter. Okay, so I've got a little decal here. This is one of our layering circles, the smallest of the scallops for you to just stamp a sentiment of sorts on. I have cut in black the doe and her little fawn. I've just cut a little piece of designer paper for you from the New Horizons. And I've used my die just on a piece of black to kind of cut out this nice silhouette. So I'm saving you some time and just having that pre-done. I will just briefly give you the quick rundown of measurements if you want to redo this card. So card base is our standard size, 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4.25. Yours are all cut, so this is why I'm going very fast. 2 pieces of ivory cut at 4 by 5.25. You're going to emboss one of them with some sort of texture. It doesn't have to be the textile embossing folder, but just something to give it a little bit of life just in the background here, okay? So it can be anything. And then one that's plain for the inside of your card. On the front, oh, I don't need that extra black. There we go. On the front, I have a piece of DSP Designer Series paper that is 3 3/4 by 5. And I have my little overlay. So the original black was 3 3/4 by 5, and then I've cut the center out. So it does rest perfectly on top of your designer paper, but it looks like you've got a nice black frame. So the assembly for this card is very simple. We're going to grab some sort of adhesive, flat adhesive, so seal or tape, whatever you prefer. I'm just a tape gal, so let's get going with this. And we're going to start with our ivory pieces. Actually, we're going to start with the ivory piece that goes inside, pardon me. So the plain ivory piece right here. This guy is going on the inside of my card. And of course, this would be the perfect moment for you to grab this long stamp right here and put it on the inside of the card. So maybe I will grab that just to show you how it looks, because it's really nice. It would kind of bring your card to life a little. So here's my white, or my ivory, pardon me. Let me grab a block. Let's do this. So Grassy Grove, I'm gonna grab my little stamp. It's a nice cling stamp, so it's very sticky. And these large ones, I actually like to just ink up while they're sitting on the table. Instead of me trying to manhandle them, risking ink everywhere, just leave them on the table, ink them up very simply, and then this can go right here. There we go. See? That's so pretty. Look at that fun little mound. I love it. Okay, I'm going to move you out of the way so I don't get inky. I should never wear white when I'm actually crafting. Bad idea. Okay, so close up your card. And this textured paper, we're going to pop up on dimensionals just so it comes off the page tiny little bit. And we do want it to be kind of quite a focal point, so put a few dimensionals in there so it's nice and sturdy. Go. Okay, so I'm putting that just on the inside of my blue. So it looks like I've got a really nice blue frame in there. And now what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to pop the designer series paper up on dimensionals as well. Okay, so turn that over. Of course, you're welcome to choose whichever side of the paper you'd like. Maybe there's a really fun pattern on the other side that you like. So check out both sides before making a decision. But I kind of liked the kind of mountainous look in the background here. Truly does look like the deer just walking by a lake. Okay, so turn this over and put that right in the middle of your white space, like so. So now for our black piece, I have decided I'm going to add even more dimensionals to this piece simply because I want it to look like the trees are away from the lake a little bit more. So this is quite the dimensionalized card, and that's okay. You only need dimensionals in the solid spaces. Don't stress about putting them all over the place. Just make sure it's very nicely supported kind of around the perimeter, because we're not putting much weight. If you can, fit a dimensional or two kind of in some of these leaf clusters. But other than that, it's okay. And if you're really worried about your dimensionals showing through, you could use some of our black mini dimensionals. And then if you do see one, it doesn't matter because they kind of blend in. I did just remember one printout that I forgot to do for you guys. Okay, so sorry, I'm gonna just pause here. I said dimensionals, and I'm just remembering now. This is what happens when I film ahead of time. Okay, I just want to give you guys a heads up that some of the items in the new annual catalog have changed in price. So you won't be able to see this on my phone. I'm just going to use it to reference, and I will post this onto the page. As you're planning your orders today and this month, keep in mind there is a little bit of price increase in some of our products in the next catalog. So we were kind of all expecting it, and to be honest, the price increase is a bit less than I was expecting. But because I'm saying dimensionals right now, this is the one thing that actually you'll want to stock up on now, because they have gone from $5.50 to $6. And that's a big jump, 50 cents per package, as compared to like our cardstock that has just gone from 12 to 12.75. So basically like 75 cents for a package of paper, but 50 cents for little dimensionals. So make sure to grab a few of those ahead of time. For things like paper, they are going up. Our ink pads are jumping up by 75 cents. Ink refills are going up by 50 cents. Blending brushes are going up by 75 cents. I will let you read through this. It's basically our adhesives and tools and inks that are going up. So I appreciate the heads up from Stamping Up because it gives you a chance to stock up on a few things now. But keep in mind there's always promotions like Celebration where you're getting a good bang for your buck and free product. So it's okay. But I always stock up on like my black, my white, my vanilla cardstock this time of year, and I will be stocking up on dimensionals and the couple other adhesives they've mentioned on here too. So look for this picture on my Lauren Scraplot page. I will give it to you right away. Just so you have it to reference and so you're aware of it. But I don't think it was a surprise to any of us. So that's fine. The cost of living is just super expensive. And I appreciated the thought that Stampin' Up put into, not raising everything. Okay, so here we go. Here's our cute little background. So we need to add some deer who are going to want dimensionals as well. So on the back of little Mama Doe, you can just fit a couple dimensionals on there. And the baby fawn really just needs like one kind of in the middle of their body. Okay, so it doesn't matter which one you put on first. just tuck Mama Doe to the side here and make sure her legs kind of go under the grass so it does truly look like she's actually part of this die. And then the little baby can go right beside her. She could be sniffing the tree if you want, grabbing some bark. So there, they look like they're just kind of nicely walking in the sunset. And if you've got the green, they will look very similar. They'll just have different hues in the background. Now for your stamping sentiment, you have a few options. You could make this a thank you card. I chose the See the Good, or of course you can grab one of your other sets if you'd like to substitute something else. It'll just be a tiny little phrase. So if you're working with the blue background, I've used Misty Moonlight as my ink of choice. If you have the green card, then I did choose to use Evening Evergreen. So I just matched the background color for my ink. Black is also a great alternative, or brown if you don't own either of those. Okay, so See the Good right there. Move those two to the side. And I'm going to pop this, surprise, surprise, up on dimensionals. So I'm just going to put a couple dimensionals in the background right here on the black. And then my little decal can go in the top right-hand corner here. There we go. And of course, if you want, you could grab some sort of embellishments. I actually thought the brass butterflies would look maybe really sharp. Here, I'll grab one and show you. There we go. Just thinking about them the other day. So you don't have these brass butterflies in your package, just keep that in mind. But if you wanted to add one, they certainly look really cute, just kind of as a focal piece on the card. So that's up to you if you own this item. It will not be in your kit, just because I thought of it later. That's a fun way to dress up your card. So there you go. There is project number 1. So usually I pause at this point and let anybody catch up. But if you're not done, just hit pause because this is a recorded video and you can always come back and watch that later. Okay? Or continue on after. So for those of you who are good to carry on, we are now working with the Blessings of Home stamp set, which is part of my specialty class this month. And we're going to make a really pretty card here. Kind of a fun fold. It's deceiving. It looks like a full card, but we're doing just a little fold on it. So just a little fun note card. So this is the card we're going to make. Oh, my dimensional's coming up. But I did promise you a teeny sneak peek, so I'm going to go really fast. But the cards that I'm making at my specialty class featuring this stamp set are Deux, Toi, and Cat. So those cards will go on the 26th, or you can take a to-go kit, and I will have a video recording just like this one for you to watch. Okay, and of course you'll want that sentiment because you saw we're using all the different sentiments for it, but totally up to you. You can always substitute a different flower and just use my design and coloring technique too. Okay, I am ready to go here. So let's grab the envelope that has all these green pieces in it here. So I'm using Garden Green as my base. And I did do a little bit of work already, so you don't have to watch me do everything. So your kits should have all these pieces, and then you'll have a plain vellum. So if you own the stamp set, then you can stamp with white or with Versamark and then emboss with white embossing powder. If not, that is totally fine. It looks adorable just using the shape, so don't stress. And then of course, if you own the stamp, you'll be able to emboss along with me for a sentiment. If you don't, you can use something else from your collection. Okay, so let's get started with assembling the card, and then from there we can chat about the different embossing that you'll want. Okay, so I'm going to move this guy. For my base, you will have a card base that is 11 by 4¼ and I've put 2 score marks, one at 4 inches and one at 5½. Okay, so I've already folded this to fit it in your envelope. So with the line, the score line in front of you now, fold this section backwards. Okay, and that will leave you with 2 sections that are kind of 4 by 4. Okay, so this is kind of what I should have at the moment. Now to attach this part together, because we don't want this section coming to life, we're just going to have our paper open in front of us and put some adhesive in this tiny little rectangular section. So you can use glue if you prefer, or seal or snail, but we're basically gluing this shut. It's kind of like a fake little section that nobody knows is there. My husband thought it would be really funny to write a note in that part. He's like, well, then somebody, if they take your card apart, they'll get a good laugh. I'm like, well, nobody's going to rip my card apart, I hope. But whatever. He just thought he would put some sort of something in there. Probably inappropriate, because boys think that's funny. Anyways, so don't open up a card that Nathan makes you, because there might be something hidden in this little section. Anyways, let's open this guy up and get our white piece in here. So I have just a plain white square. It's 3/4 by 3¾ by 3¾ and it's going just on the inside section with a flat adhesive. And just like we did with the Grassy Grove set, you can always come back later if you'd like and stamp something on the inside. I think even, you know, this set of flowers, kind of half of the cluster, would look really cute just showing through. So totally up to you. I will just leave that for now though, so I don't have to keep getting up and disturbing you. Here we go. Turn this over, and I've got my little white piece of paper. There we go. So there's our little inside. Now on the front, this is going to be very, very easy to assemble as well. I wanted these to be ones that you could quickly and easily assemble, but that had a little fun technique to them. So I have 2 pieces of designer series paper. I've taken both of them from the Blessings of Home stamp set, or DSP set. What I love about this paper is it's got a really fun pattern on one side, and the back side of every single one of them is this white and gray wood grain. So some of them have wood grains that go diagonally, some are vertical, horizontal, whatever, but they're all the same color scheme and they're all a wood grain, which makes it very, very friendly for some of my other projects that I want to explore. So here we go. I just chose 2 random pieces. So the smallest one, of course, is going to hide in this section. It measures 1 by 4. And then this little guy is a 3¾ by 3¾ square, which goes here. So it's completely up to you. You can either put them down flat, or you can pop these sections up on dimensionals just to kind of bring them to life a little bit. So I'm going to do that. Usually I actually do put them down flat, but I'm feeling adventuresome and I like dimensionals a lot. So we're just going to put those up here. Whoop, here. This guy goes here for you, and this one. Make sure you've got lots of support in the middle for this because we're putting quite a bit of weight with our cardstock. So I would just make sure there's dimensionals all the way down. There we go. This would even be a pretty side too if you wanted to kind of show the wood grain section on one of your two pieces. I love and I hate stamping up double-sided paper because on the one hand, there's a pattern that I don't love. Usually the other side is great. On the other hand, if there's a pattern I really love, then I only have two sheets of it. It makes it very hard. Okay, here's my beautiful little card so far. I am going to do some embossing on my decal now. So I thought this would be a really nice encouragement card for we can get through anything together. But of course, there's what a beautiful day for love, or thank you for inspiring me as well. So whatever you choose. Oh, I'm so sorry. Well done. Yellow candy. They can leave a message. Don't know who that is. If it's someone on this call, sorry I ignored you. Okay, I'm going to try thank you for inspiring me because we'll just see how that one looks. So I've got a block that I'm going to mount this. Now for embossing, if you don't own a heat gun and the embossing goodies, you could quite easily just grab your black ink and certainly stamp on here as well. Okay, so don't stress if you don't have all these tools at home. So I'm going to just stamp with my sticky Versamark ink, and I'm going more to the right-hand side because my flowers are going to rest on the left here. So somewhere here, we're going to stamp, move that out of the way. And now I like to use either just like a Tupperware bowl or something, or I have these old trays from Stampin' Up! To dump my embossing powder in. Make sure to kind of just flick the back a tiny bit so you don't end up with a lot of extra powder anywhere. Now this needs to be heated, so please don't touch it. Otherwise, you're going to have to start all over, which is never fun. Okay, so you won't be able to hear me as I'm embossing, but you'll see my kind of powdery look is going to start getting really nice and glossy. It's very hard to see on white. I'm sorry. The best embossing to watch is always our gold embossing powder because you see it turn from this dirt color to this stunning gold. So I'll try and kind of pause in between, but it's going to be boring. Okay, you can kind of see the word U is nice and clear and white, and then my TH still looks really kind of dull and powdery. So that's the difference you're looking for, this nice melted kind of white shiny look and the powder. And now as it's getting close to your fingers, maybe grab just a pair of scissors to hold your paper in place so you don't burn yourself. There we go. Okay, so there's my sentiment, and I did already do my vellum stamping and stuff on this guy, so I wasn't wasting all your time. But of course, you could do the same technique, just stamp your flower on here. Another option is if you don't own the flower, you could grab a textured background and stamp onto this shape, the vellum shape that I've given you, and then you'll end up with kind of a fun textured looking flower. So a couple different options for you. But I have already done this guy. We would like to attach it to the cardstock mirror that I've cut. So I'm just going to use a couple glue dots and put those right in the middle of my flower buds. You can see them the teeniest tiny little bit, but nothing major. Okay, so just tuck 1, 2, maybe 3. It's totally up to you. Yeah, maybe do 1 down at the bottom on the leaves. Sorry, I'll show it to you. There we go. So you can't see. 1, 2, 3. Just something to get this to attach. And this will fit right over top because I used the same die from this set. So here we go. It's this guy right here that coordinates with the stamp. So there's also a die for this large stamp, and there's also some really nice floral boughs and leaves and flowers for different other pieces of your project too. So it's a cute little bundle. Now to attach to our card, we'll start with our little decal, and this guy's getting popped up on dimensionals. Surprise, surprise. And I'm putting it just in the kind of bottom right hand of the card. It doesn't have to be all the way to the bottom, but you don't want it in the middle because this flower is quite tall. It actually takes up most of the space that you see here. So you do want to make sure it fits. And I might even have to just move this over a teeny tiny bit. Never like to do this, but should be okay. Okay, maybe move it over towards the side so I have all the room I need for my flower. Okay, now for my little flower, let's put some dimensionals on the back of that as well. So we're just gonna make sure you've got one kind of on the stem and then a couple near the top here and maybe one off to the side. You don't really need any in the middle space because that's what's gonna overlap your little tag and it's being held up anyways for you. Okay, so let's just attach these two. There we go. And now to finish it off, I did include in your little packet one of the colors, oh, dimensional backings, one of the colors of our classic matte dots. So you may have been the recipient of black, gray, vanilla, or white. They all go very nicely with this project. So you got one of the three, just a set with one large and two smalls so that you can give yourself a little bit of an accent here. Okay, so here's my large one, just kind of directly diagonal of the F. And then I'm gonna just add a small one right above it. Oops, there we go. And near the top here. Okay, so you can see this one's the vanilla, that's the white. Could have easily used black or gray as well. So they'll all fit, and this is just a really great set of embellishments that is actually going to carry over. Usually our paper and embellishments, almost all of them retire at the end of a catalog, so I'm actually very happy to see this continue, probably because it was actually just an early release item, but we've had it for like 3 months, so I'm just used to them and I really like them. So here we go. 2 easy peasy cards. You can use whatever sentiment you want, just something that's kind of a little longer and horizontal, and hopefully have a lot of fun just passing this one along to someone. So I'm just going to say, if you haven't finished these 2, this is a great time for you to just hit pause on the video once again. And I'm just going to keep going to our last card. Hope you will love, because I certainly do. Okay. Last but not least, we are using the Daffodil Daydream bundle and the Brick and Mortar 3D. Sorry, I need to check one thing. Still familiarizing myself with the catalog, and I just want to make sure I'm telling you the truth. Yes, okay. This set is in the new catalog. Again, it's carrying over. The paper that we use for the card, though, was our celebration paper. So it came as a free item with a $60 purchase. So you can't buy it from the catalog, but I have it and I'm happy to count it towards a club order. So if you'd like it, it's the same price as the papers in the catalog. I'll even comp the shipping. And then you can enjoy this beautiful daffodil afternoon paper. Okay, so here we go. There's all sorts of different patterns, and especially because this paper or bundle is carrying on, you may want a package if you don't own one already. So we needed a Mother's Day card because, of course, Mother's Day is coming up very quickly before we will meet again. And I wanted to make sure you guys had a chance to make this card. However, if you don't need a Mother's Day card, then you certainly could make it into something like a thank you card, a birthday card, a thinking of you card, anything you really want. So I'm using the Daffodil Afternoon, but you'll notice this one is not from that set. I grabbed the Artfully Layered, and I could have used thank you or hey there for this one. I could also have grabbed Paradise Palms and made a birthday or a retirement card. Or if you had any sort of multi-sentiment stamp, for example, happy and heartfelt, you can see there are so many of these that would fit inside that little decal. So this decal and the small and the large one, they are from the Hippo and Friends die set. So that's in our regular catalog. This is this year's. They are on page 163. And I need to talk to you about this because I love this die set. It has, these kind of funky shapes. It has those rectangle ones. It, of course, has the little Hippo and Friends shapes, but the stitching and the versatility of this set is amazing. And I just checked, is still available right now as a retiring item at 20% off. So it's $39.20 instead of $49. And if you do a lot of different shapes and fun decals and sentiments, this is a really good one to have in your collection. We've had it for quite a few years, but I'm really going to be sad to see it go, unfortunately. So make sure to grab it if you don't have it, because that is what I used for both this stitch decal and the background. Okay, so let me walk you through how to make this card. It's very, very simple. I'm just going to keep one of them visible for you. Brick and mortar folder, though, is carrying on. So, yay, long live the brick and mortar. Daffodil Daydream stamp set and dies. Look at all these different die pieces. These are so pretty. That's why I had to use them, sorry for daffodils, to make this 3D little feature for you. And of course, you can go crazy. You can put like 5 daffodils on a card if you want, but I didn't want you to hate me because sometimes assembling all of these little pieces can be tedious, but I have cut them for you, so I hope that's a helpful little, tip, and I will show you a few easy ways to assemble. Okay, so let's make sure we're not missing any pieces inside our envelopes, because that always happens to me. And let's get building the base of our project. So some of you will have the materials for this floral one, and some of you will have the materials for this greenish looking one. Once again, the assembly is exactly the same, so whichever one you have, you can just follow along with the directions. Oh, we're just a little crooked. There we go. I fixed it. Okay. Also, you can make this an Easter card if you need that too. Okay, so let me show you the funnest way to use your DSP, your designer series paper. So you're going to take an entire strip of this, and this is now 12 inches long by 4 inches. So a typical card we make at 4 1/4. But if I do this at 4 inches, it means I can get 3 of them out of one piece of designer series paper. So I have trimmed it down. So this thickness is only 4 inches. We're putting a score mark at the 1 inch mark, and then you would put another one at 6 1/2. So it's kind of like, let's pretend you've got a 5 1/2 inch wide card, but now we've got this extra piece here. So this actually just folds backwards, and we're going to attach it simply to the front of the card with some tape so that it looks like you've added a strip of paper, but you haven't. All you've done is folded your piece of designer series paper backwards. This is why I like double-sided papers, because they are so easy to, they definitely complement each other, and they're so easy to work with when you know the pattern will work. So I've put adhesive in this little section on the front of my card, and I'm just going to go ahead and take those off. Fold this backwards. And voila, I have the easiest, beautiful, most beautiful card ever. And all you really need to do is cut out something like a decal. You wouldn't emboss this, but you'd stick it on the front and stamp a sentiment on, and it's adorable. Like, this is a fantastically simple card. I'm going to do this card as one of my Show Me How It's Done videos with a few alternative ideas. So that will be one where I can show you just how simple it is to cut out a decal, slap a sentiment on the front, and you've got an adorable card to pass out, because the designer paper brings your card to life completely for you. Okay, well, I've got my little decal on the front here already, so I might as well add him. Let's put dimensionals on the back of that. And once again, we're piling quite a bit on, so maybe make sure there's a good amount of dimensionals on the back. This is going to go right in the center of your space. But of course, this is your card too. So if you decide, hey, I actually like my decal maybe kind of more towards one side or the other, that's totally up to you. I just chose a decal that kind of dominated this main section. So I'm just going to put it right in the center of that space. Now, before I do the assembly of my little daffodil, I would like to add some paper to the inside of the card. So typically what I would probably do is just one piece of vanilla or white, something for me to write on. But this is a Mother's Day card, so we want to step it up. So I have cut a piece of Mossy Meadow to match the stems that I'm using, the color in the stems. So Mossy Meadow, that is 3 3/4 by 5 1/4. That's going to go on first with some sort of tape or steel or glue, whatever you like. 3. Really need to clean my scissors, I think. That might have to be a weekend project here or something. There we go. But I guess I'm going away for Easter. I'm going to Calgary for part of the weekend. Then we'll be back to celebrate with Nathan's family as well. So kids are going to have a very busy weekend. They're very excited and they want to know every day if it's Easter yet. Okay, there's my Mossy Meadow. And then I went with a piece of vanilla simply because it just fit the color schemes on this paper. You can see it's vanilla kind of inside the designer paper. So this one is going to measure 3 1/2 by 5. And you could certainly come back at some point and stamp, you know, a little flower, or actually there's this adorable kind of splatter look along the top. You could maybe add that and a little butterfly to the inside of this card, but that's up to you. You can always do that at a later time. And the really pretty colors that coordinate with this paper are the Bumblebee blends, the Mossy Meadow, even the jade is really nice. Just jade. So there you go. You can add whatever you'd prefer later on. Okay, close this up. Let's get working on our little daffodil. So what you have in your stash should be 3 long stems. So they'll all look a little bit different. The one that we're going to start with is, of course, the one that doesn't look like a leaf. It's got the little, what is that called? A stamen? I don't know. I'm really bad at this. Okay, and I'm going to grab my Tombow liquid glue. I think that will be the easiest way for me to get this onto my card. So if you have the fine tip glue pen or any other kind of glue, this will probably be your best friend. Just a few dots down the way, only in the sections that are going to touch the vanilla. Okay, you don't need any down below because we don't really want those on there. Okay, so Here's my little guy. You can make this turn whichever way you want. Actually, probably should have turned it the other way, but nobody's gonna know. So I'm gonna turn it this way. Because my daffodil can just hide it, so it's fine. Okay, so it will hang over the bottom and we'll trim everything all at the same time at the end, okay? It doesn't matter. So next, it doesn't matter actually which one you choose next. So I thought the nice straight lined stem could be kind of my friend along the right hand side. So once again, just putting on tiny dots of glue. I'm going to add this to the right. And because I messed up and turned my stem the wrong way, I'm going to end up kind of covering that a little bit, but it doesn't matter. All I need to see is this neck because my daffodil's covering the rest. So there we go. I want my stems kind of almost on top of one another. And last but not least, got my left angle going off here. Okay, so there we go. Make sure those are all nicely attached. And you can do your trimming all at the same time. So just open up your card and snip on the bottom section. Like so. Bless me. Okay, there's my little stems. Now I'm going to attach all of my flower pieces together off the card, and then I'll put them on the card all at the same time. It'll be much easier for me to do. So I should have two little pinwheel kind of looking things, two flower petal sections, and two pieces for the center of your flower. Okay, so that should be what you have. Let's assemble the pieces that need gluing. So that would be this bumblebee one. Just with a couple tiny dots around the perimeter. And that yellow bumblebee color can go straight on top of the vanilla. Just very gently press it. Now let it sit while it dries. These two pieces you can certainly do some gluing if you want, but glue dots are also your best friend. You can just grab one glue dot and put this in the center. So there's a little finesse just to see which one goes where. I actually might have gotten it in one shot. I don't think I did. There we go. Just flip it around until it looks right. So it should kind of fit over top of your base. Another glue dot. And my second one, they should be the same thing. So I kind of just look for the tall, skinny one and try to see where that one goes. There. So there's my two little pieces here. We're going to add a little bit of dimension now with, you guessed it, some dimensionals. So I'm just going to put one dimensional in the middle of either one of my vanilla bases, petals, doesn't matter which one. And I'm going to stack opposite to whatever is above it. Okay. And then for this centerpiece, this one actually you might want to add at the very end. So let's just put the dimensional on it and no, I don't know. Probably doesn't matter. You can put it wherever you want. And then just put it kind of at a slight angle in the center of your flower. And then if you want to, you can flip this entire flower over, and I would actually put dimensionals on all three of those petal backgrounds just so that we've got a little bit more stability. Here, just move them towards the center of your flower. And this can now be added to your card front. Okay. So keep in mind I faced my little thing the wrong way, but once I put this on, Nobody knows the difference. It's just hidden in there. Okay, so it does, the flower does kind of blend in a little bit, and certainly you could move it up or down, however you prefer, on your decal. So that I thought looked really nice, but I figured it was a good opportunity to have a tag here. So this is the smallest of those stitch shapes. I need one more Mother's Day card, so I'm going to make another Mother's Day card. And this is using the Mossy Meadow ink. Unfortunately, mine I think is getting rather dry. Need to re-ink a bunch of things, but we will see how this goes. Okay, happy Mother's Day. And it's really dry, so I'm just letting it soak. Yeah, so it's okay. It's a little lighter than usual, but that's quite all right. And I'm going to pop this up on dimensionals. I really only need dimensionals under the first third of it, because this part is already going to be up on my leaves. But they do lay flat, so it doesn't really matter. If you want, you can put dimensionals all the way across. It's up to you. Okay, here is Happy Mother's Day, like so. So once again, very neutral in use of like color palette of cardstock, but the card colors really come from the designer paper, because they're just going to bring your card to life. And if you had this blue one, you'll see once again kind of a different tone on that too. This one, I think I put my flower more to the center, and that's fine. It can be off to the side or center, whatever you want. It's your card. And you can give them to whomever you like. So there we go. I hope you guys enjoyed today's class, and I hope you're all doing well. It is different not to touch base with everyone all the time, but I hope you guys are all doing well. I did also have one thing I wanted to run by you, which is some swapping. So I don't know if anyone's interested, and I'll get you maybe to private message me after you watch this video if you are. But I was thinking maybe for next month, if we did a swap, as long as I have the cards before everyone else is picking up their kits for class, or at least if they're dropped off, because I can return them to you with your orders. So I was thinking if 10 of us, like if there's 10 people who want to swap, it can be any theme that you want. Let's just do any card, but it has to be Stampin' Up. It has to use Stampin' Up product, and it has to be current or something, you know, that could be easily substituted. So if you had an old daffodil, that's okay too. But let's try to use current and just Stampin' Up product. And if you want to do a card of any sort, you would drop 10 of them off to me before club, a couple days before club, so that I have time to sort them. And then I will pass them out to everyone who's either attending or picking things up after the class. So if you want in, let me know, just so I have a rough idea of who's participating. And I'd love to offer you guys the chance to kind of use your products. And if we have more than 10 people, maybe we'll do 10, like 2 groups of 10, just because I think 10 is maybe a nice number to start off with. It's not too overwhelming. But yeah, shoot me a note if you're interested in that. Let me know right away if you would like to come to the specialty class this month, because I'll want to get your products ordered for you. And then if you want to spot at bingo, make sure to sign up quickly, because again, I have to order those prizes very soon, and if I need to mail you out cards, then I want to do that right away. So thank you guys so much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed tonight's class and the projects, and I look forward to chatting with you all soon. Bye.